So this is my presentation on Norman the cat, Hansel and Gretel's story. I want to tell you about the magic of Norman and what a wacky blessing that he is to all he needs. So, who's Norman? My parents' absolute cutie, former street cat and advocate for adoption. There's that handsome man. He is a true hero whose life was really heartbreaking before we loved him. And he is a perfect example of what little love can do. And I have a warning, there is a graphic picture in the next slide. It's of a wound on his head. So he was left by a family. He was actually just dumped out of their car into the trailer park. They used to live there and they just left and left him behind, which was really sad. There was a mean neighbor lady who, if he'd get on her property, she would hit him with a broom. So she was, all in all, a horrible person. He was beaten up by cats and coons. He's never been a fighter, so they all just attacked him. And he was actually locked, not locked, but boarded up under a trailer because the construction people didn't care to make any noise. They knew cats would frequent. So he was pretty rough. And the Shaw TV said he had multiple injuries from fights or attacks, has many rotten teeth that need to come out, and a big abscess on his head and tail. His ears are also damaged and swollen. So he really was the saddest cat, but he was always so lovey. And before his homecoming, my mom would go up the street and she would try and find Norman, and she would shake a bag of treats just to find him. And sometimes he would let her come right up. He'd let her pet him, let her give him kisses and treats. And he was actually fed meals by a nice neighbor lady. She was really lovely. And he always got loved up by my brother when he'd walk by, because Norman really loves my brother. And this is a Facebook status that's about 3 months before we actually got him. And she got right up to him, fed him treats, loved him up. And then pretty soon I will Hansel and Gretel him down to the house. And eventually, so the park manager, they live in a trailer park, and the park manager doesn't like outside cats, and was really just strict and honestly awful. So she called animal control, and they caught him. And then the nice neighbor lady who fed Norman saw him being captured, and she contacted us right away because she knew we were trying to capture him to take him to the vet and give him a home. So my mom and I immediately piled into her car, sped to the SPCA. When we got there, my mom burst through the door, like full on in hysterics. Her adrenaline was like mad, superhuman, crazy. And she busted through the doors and immediately was like, "There's this cat, I need him, do you have him? big short-haired black cat found in a trailer park in the South End. And he was caught, and they didn't actually know about him because he was picked up by animal control. So when we were there, a lovely SPCA employee was overhearing my mom, and she immediately called animal control and got them to sign over guardianship on the phone. Sent papers over and got everything figured out. And a fun fact, the SPCA actually named Norman Wilson, which the SPCA didn't know it at the time, but that's our family name. So we just thought that was super special. And everyone loves Norman. He was featured all over the place, news, social media, Castanet, which is essentially like Kelowna's Kijiji. And it's pretty cool, and he was in news articles all over. He was on TV. He was very special. And he was being seen around the world, which was pretty special. And the funds that were raised were really incredible. The community really poured in all of their money, their effort, and $2,960 was raised in 5 days. And total raised was nearly $6,000. So that not only paid for all of Norman's medical bills while he was at the SPCA, got them all fixed up. Remaining funds went to help pay for other animals, emergency funds. And donations were sent in from like the US, even New Zealand. So, and then he got to meet his family. Adoption applications came in huge volumes. Everyone loved Norman, everyone wanted Norman. But we knew he was ours. And so we got this special, beautiful cat, and we visited every single day in the SPCA. And we even brought him lobster for Mother's Day. And it's home time. He adjusted to a life of luxury pretty darn fast, honestly. He showed his appreciation every chance he got. These pictures were taken some of the first days he was home. That top one, that one, and that one were all his very first day home. And he just came in, made the place his, and it really has never been the same as before. So it's really amazing. And every day he has meals with his dad, protects his mom from scary birds outside the windows. He'll like stand there and it's really funny. And then he would sleep curled up in my brother's bed with him, nice and close, because my brother was like a heater. So Norman, of course, was drawn to that. And for holidays, he is the king. So that is his stool. Only his stool, is nobody else's. And that was Christmas, and he is being hand-fed ham. And he's loving it. And that's another one of him at the Christmas dinner table, looking all cute. And that's one of my favorite collages I've made of him, because the many faces of Norman in front of his lobster. And he's often hand fed. My dad will even, he won't hand feed him this, but he actually makes eggs for Norman. Norman gets his own egg because he likes the yolk so much. It's really cute. And Norman is as lovey as humanly possible. And he loves to play, and he loves to get scratches all over. He's really funny in the sense that he plays hard, and he will he'll lay on the ground on his back and just like, we call it just like the fight. He'll fight and fight and fight. And it's so funny because he will do that on the floor, but he has so many weird things that cats usually don't like, and he's very good with playing with his paws or his head, even though it's so scarred up. And that was my brother. And then that's Norman in his fight mode. And he has 4 teeth, and they're all little ones, and they're all near the back. So he just gums you. He'll walk over and he'll just start gumming you. It's so cute. And then in human years, Norman is 9 years old in cat years, so he'd be 52 in human years, which I thought was pretty cool. And then he actually has a Facebook page that I've created, because of course he does, and of course I did. So I'm not sure. I hope this works. Aww. I can't get rid of that. But so I've got I've got all sorts of pictures of him, videos. My family likes to do reviews. So yeah, my precious grandkitty, he's a cat, does cat things. And he's just wonderful. That's him getting his manicure. And my brother and him. And yeah, he really is the funniest. And then my last one is how you can adopt your own pal. So I've got information for SPCA adoption, and then of course going in person to the, it did. And it shouldn't have gone there, but it should have gone here. Oh, it did actually, it was the right one. But in person, they have every question known to man, or every answer, and then you can also check out some fuzzy friends. Yeah, and that is my presentation on Norman.